I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have 4 commissioners here. Absent is Commissioner Soden. But we have Commissioner Conley, Commissioner Cole, Commissioner Vince-Guerin, and Commissioner Murphy. So we have a quorum. Citizens with business before the commission. I'd like to introduce Melissa Root and welcome her from the Connecticut Port Authority. If you want to introduce yourself to everyone again.
Sure. Yep. So I'm Melissa Root. I am a community liaison with the Connecticut Port Authority. I started in June, so I've been here a few months. I ran South Connecticut prior to this, had my own business, worked as a professor prior to this. I've got a varied background. Very excited to be in this role. So I get out, I let folks, I go to Harbor Management Commission meetings, I go to all different kinds of things and let folks know about the Connecticut Port Authority. And we, one of the things municipalities in particular tend to be interested in is we have this SHIP grant, Small Harbor Improvement Project Program grant. The legislature changed it a bit this year so that private entities can also apply for funds. So we are working on the new language now. We posted one version of the new language in August, got feedback, but we've actually decided to do a wholesale change to it, which we're working on now. I expect that to probably go on the Connecticut Law Journal within the next 2 weeks. It'll probably go up for 30 days for review and comment, public comment. So if you want to look at it, give us your feedback. But essentially the changes we're looking at is a maximum of $400,000 applications for municipalities, maximum of $250,000 for private marinas. Marinas would solely be for offsetting extra dredging costs. So if you want to do beneficial reuse and there's extra, cost to either transport or testing or anything like that, or upland placement, or, if one open water site isn't available and you need to go further afield to place your dredge materials. So covering those additional fees to make it less arduous for marinas to do business related to dredging. And like I said, 400,000 is looking to be the upper limit for municipalities. Our goal is to reach as many municipalities across our coastline as possible and impact as much as we can. So if we put those maximum limits on for the application, then we can impact obviously more projects. So we are waiting for what we're trying to do this year. What happened in the past was people would apply, they would get selected, but then we'd have to wait for the bond commission to meet. And what happened in the last round was they were selected in the fall and the bond commission didn't consider them until April. And so the dredging period is only in the winter. And so it fouled up some forward momentum for some projects. So what we have done this year is, and the legislature changed so we can do this, we've requested all of the funds up front. And our goal is to get all the funds, then release the request for applications. So once you are accepted, you can start your project right away. But there's some growing pains in that because it hasn't been done before. So we put our request in August. We understand the legislature, the bond commission will likely meet in December. We don't know if that's true or not. And we don't know if we are on their agenda. So we're in a holding pattern at the moment, but that's the sort of the landscape for what's happening with SHIP funds. And as I mentioned, we're also interested in sort of gathering information about abandoned boats and, how trying to see if we can influence that in a positive direction for the state. So it's not as arduous on municipalities when these one-offs happen. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we're working on. Trying to let the Army Corps know sort of what dredging projects need to happen, on a rolling basis so we can keep that moving, and trying to increase the amount of cargo that comes into the state or goes out of the state by boat rather than truck, to alleviate some of the trucks on our highways too. So those are some of the big initiatives that we're working on, but I gave you all my card. You feel free to reach out anytime if there's anything. We're literally right up the road. We're here in the where you are. It's odd that I haven't been here yet, but yeah. So we're right by the train station. So very easy. Stop by anytime. We're Suite 204. But But yeah, you have my
Great.
contact, email, phone, so, sorry, it took too long, but go ahead.
No, you didn't at all.
Give it a brief overview.
That's absolutely very helpful. Just basics for me on the SHIP grant, and
Yeah.
we've certainly heard about them before. We've certainly talked about submitting applications for them, but let me just throw out some things that we may be doing in the future. We've done a lot of capital improvements, I think, over the past 5-6 years. So we're,
Yeah.
our physical plant, we're in pretty good shape.
Okay,
Okay, but new water system, that would be applicable
water system.
excuse me, new water system for a dock, that a town dock that we have that
Oh,
has
yeah.
Ferry Road, yeah.
Ferry Road and
It serves a lot of fishermen.
Commercial. fishing.
Yeah.
commercial
for sure.
fishermen. Yep, very pretty small dollars, and
Yep.
probably in your world. Permitting fees for dredging, for future dredging.
Yep.
Those are two that I'm kind of thinking of. Do the projects have to be?
Design costs, if you have design costs, if you want to put together a harbor management plan, like, I'm sure you have that, but there can be.
You really hit the button.
That's right. Those are all areas that applications, and
Okay.
you can put in for more than one application as well.
Do you just, I don't want to say have to have an idea, how far along do these projects have to be, or these items have to be?
Well, if it's, I mean, we want them to be starting soon. We don't have, an immediate timeline, but there are questions around your timeline, and
Got it.
projects that are ready to roll or certainly will be rated higher in the rubric than ones that are much further off. And since we're having a cap on what can be allocated, like let's say we do an RFA in January and we expend maybe half the funds, let's just make that up, but we would probably have another round then in June. So if you were, hey, we're not quite ready to apply yet, but you wouldn't necessarily miss the whole year in that scenario. Again, we haven't done it this way before, so it's that's our thinking on it, is we probably wouldn't have that many projects to fill. Maybe not. We don't know yet, right?
And
But
when's the due date of the SHIP grant?
so that's the part we're waiting on to see.
Oh, got it.
Once we hear from the bond commission that we're on their agenda and they've approved it and we get the funds. So the very, very best case scenario is that bond commission meets in December. Our SHIP goes on the law journals by the end of November. So I would say the very best case scenario would be early January that it would open.
Right.
But if the bond commission doesn't meet, then last winter they didn't meet again until April, as I understand it. So there's some unknowns in that.
So are the grant priorities changing at all compared to previous things, especially now that you have some private, if my memory serves me, like things that had an economic impact, things that, I thought it had to be like
So more
public,
use. Yep.
yeah, public use.
So for the marinas, it's only to offset dredging costs. They can't apply for like docks, infrastructure, things like that. Theirs are only to offset those dredging costs because they have gotten it's costly to do beneficial reuse over the open water placement, but we want to encourage that.
Yeah.
Or if it's contaminated some sometimes it requires a lot of extra testing right now and that's very expensive. And then if you need to do, some kind of extra work to address that, it's not always present day that has influenced that material. It can be, from years ago of some other business that was up the river, right? And so just trying to make business more viable here in Connecticut. So it's just to offset those costs. Municipalities are always prioritized over the private entities, though.
And in our past dredge projects, the material in North Cove for North Cove maintenance dredging, it's clean material basically because it's not any new dredging. So I think we've been used as cap material in the past. where there's been
Oh, yeah, yeah,
contaminated dredging, offshore disposal,
right.
and they use our material to cap over
Yeah.
it.
I don't think we're allowing capping anymore, at
Okay.
least on the open water, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I.
That's one of the, Army Corps would kind of line us up to say, yeah. Exactly. We're gonna dredge New Haven and then we're gonna do North Cove and use the cap.
Right. Well, they would need to if they do CAD cells, which are these massive, basically caverns that they build out at, off the, well, they have a few that are being planned, but, those would have capping, but I'm not sure if it's just the material I'm not exactly sure if it's fresh material or material that they've moved to create the CAD cell and then fill it in. Not sure on that. So I'm sorry, I'm not the expert on yet on that one, but I'll find you an answer.
Some if you need some.
Yeah. Right, yeah. When is the last time North Cove was dredged?
Is it 28? That long ago?
I was gonna say 8 years.
Yeah.
It's about 8 years, right?
That's all right.
How often do you typically need to dredge?
10.
Oh, okay, so it's coming up.
I mean, one of our agenda items, we can start talking about it a little bit now, is are you familiar with North Cove? It's a harbor refuge.
Yeah.
It's, the dredging is the responsibility of the Corps of Engineers. So we've been writing letters, doing our best to, in a relatively friendly way, urge them to start the permitting process. The Corps of Engineers.
Right.
So
Is there anybody in particular you're working with at the Corps? That's successful.
Was there a letter in the packet?
no, but she never responded to us. But the project manager, senior project manager did. I do that.
No, sorry. Some people say,
I'm saying.
That's the most obvious question.
okay, don't.
No, because this is a
So we are at the point where boats are starting to drag.
Craig Martin.
Oh, correct, yeah, okay.
You familiar with him?
I've not met him, but I hear his name all the time and I saw a presentation by him recently, so.
But we're at a point where sailboats are starting to, at low tides are not swinging with the
Oh,
wind and the
okay.
currents.
Right.
And boats are starting to collide into each other.
Yeah.
So we're having to deal with that as, decreasing the number of
Right.
moorings potentially and.
What do you normally dredge it to? What's the maintenance?
So it's, yeah,
When you say maintenance dredging, I'm gonna
Right.
respond to that. It's 6 foot
Oh.
design depth with a 1 foot over touch.
Okay.
But
but there's a
You
part
do
of
a
the first third of the code.
full dredge, which is
Okay.
different than a maintenance dredge. It's 12 feet on the outer third of the cove. When I say outer, the eastern end of the cove,
Okay.
and then 6 feet for the other 2/3. And we were, we did get the Corps of Engineers attention enough
Mhm.
that they performed a survey of the cove a little over 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And they actually did one this past summer,
Okay, great.
all right? There was enough data there. Now I'm gonna use the word, it wasn't like a precision analysis we did, but it's close enough that we're losing about a little over 3/4 of a foot in 2 years.
So the red,
It's
anywhere
filling in
red
fast.
Yeah,
is shown,
it's not.
yeah, it's less than the
Right.
design. Yeah, yeah.
Actually, the channel's holding up pretty well.
Right, in
Yeah,
here.
surprisingly, yeah, this
Yeah.
channel, yeah.
But remember
channel.
this part here,
This is your mooring
is
area?
12 feet. The whole thing is the mooring area.
Okay.
Okay, but I don't think this is not the latest survey.
It's not the latest, no.
We went through this before,
Okay.
but this
I
was
guess
dredged to, right to here was dredged to 12 feet.
Okay.
All right, so that's why you're getting most of the reds here.
Mhm.
But now, this part of the cove, say from here to here,
Mhm.
at low tide is at or below 5.
Oh, wow.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So
mean,
when
you
you're
must have-
saying you're putting together a rotating list of, would you like add North Cove then to that and say like in general, every 10 years we're looking at?
That's Mike's goal, is to
Okay.
come up with every, federal navigation channel that's under the Army Corps' purview, having the list of, and so knowing like, yeah, every 10 years, this one needs to be dredged, but that one might not
Proactively on the
need
radar.
to be, yeah, right, to
Yeah.
keep it, and
Yeah.
really strongly encouraging them to get federal dollars to, that's often the argument is there's not money, but there is, it's just not getting allocated to Connecticut, so that's a longer term goal for us.
You could not get a submarine in here, right?
I think so.
So I was gonna bring up this subject anyway, so we're going a little out of order, but I think this is a
Sure.
good into it is, we sent that last letter to the floor and they're signed by, the letters we're sending to the courts. And they're signed by the.
Yeah.
We haven't ventured out to, getting support from other people, other political people or anything else. Would like to keep, I personally would like to keep a good relationship with the Corps and not,
Yeah.
see what we can do on a more friendly, rational basis than just, pressuring. But now it's been about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. We have not received a response. Last time we had to write another letter.
Mhm.
I almost feel at this point, writing another letter, I mean, we can do it. I was
Is
gonna
there
pick up the
a
phone.
bit gummed up because of the shutdown.
Well, that came to me too, right? I don't even know if they're there,
Right.
So, I'm not trying to,
We send everything electronically and by regular mail though, so.
but it's possible they weren't even, I don't know if they were temporarily laid off or what they were, or how screwed up they were.
Right.
To actually function, that this would come up to a rational rational. So I was gonna call him. I was just gonna pick up the phone and call him and see if we don't get a reaction from him, even a return call or something in a couple of days,
Yep.
I'll Jenny up another like 1 paragraph letter, like see our attached letter.
And the letter is asking, let's get this permitting process going.
The letter is we're expressing urgency to get the permitting process going.
Yeah.
Essentially is what we said.
Okay.
And we're asking for a discussion on it.
Okay.
They did respond to the previous 2 letters we sent probably a year ago.
Okay.
And we were getting a dialogue going, and the first step was this barometric survey,
Okay. Yeah.
which they performed. Okay. So now the question is, now what? What is that telling you? I know what it's telling us, we're not,
Right.
it's verifying that this is filling in quickly for us. So we copy Mike on the letters
Okay.
that we sent.
Okay.
But with the shutdown and everything, I haven't followed up on that one. That's
Okay. I'll bring it back to
like
Mike and
6
see.
weeks.
Yeah,
If he has any advice,
I will.
we're all ears on this whole
Okay.
process. We're all ears.
Okay,
Okay.
you got it.
David, did you have something to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So you're going to bring it back to Mike. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
call him over the next couple of days.
Sounds good.
Just see if we can, and that probably ends that discussion. We skipped over the regular meeting minutes of October 20th, 2025. Is there a motion to accept as written?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion? Hearing no
7
discussion?
end times are good, 7:38, yeah.
There's an inside joke here.
Bob wasn't at the last meeting.
Paul to the meeting and it's just
Bob
like,
does it in record time.
we're done.
Anything else? Let's go. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, 3 affirmative and I'm abstaining because I wasn't there. Okay, Jennifer, you're up.
So I guess the big news is that renewals are underway. We've got about 50% of North Cove who have started their renewals. Not completed. As usual, there's people without money and without registrations, but anyway. Doing pretty well there. The wait list is up to 91 there. Clothesline, we're about a third of the people have submitted stuff. Ferry dock, about half. Flats and beaches and kayak, we haven't started renewals yet. There have been a significant number of issues with the database this time around. I do not know why. I mean, literally every week I am sending their support team 1, 2, 3 issues to investigate. So it's been a little bit frustrating. They are very responsive, but I don't know what's going on in the back end this year. Like, for example, I sent Bob a note saying, you didn't send in your registration, which wouldn't be like him, but it wasn't there. And there's a bunch of people that's happened to. And for some reason, you know, the new sabbatical piece, if you didn't click no right at the beginning and then it prompted you to click no afterwards, then it erased your registration upload. So they have to figure out on the back end why that's happening. There's been a bunch of payment issues too. In the past, if somebody overpaid, I could put it in, they get a credit for next year, it rejects it. Like, so there's just been a lot of little things, and you know, slowly but surely they're getting resolved, but I don't know, it's been a little bit frustrating and time consuming. So just so you know, 2 people have taken the sabbatical option so far. So, and you'll see that there have been 5 people who have given up their moorings so far this year, and 1 person on the clothesline. So, you know, I put the boat sizes here in case you feel there's the ability to offer new moorings this year. I know it's up in the air.
So for Melissa's benefit, the sabbatical is we offered mooring holders, if they have a deep keel and they feel they can't come in because of the shoaling, we're gonna let them take a years off until it gets dredged, and then they'll come back in without a wait list.
Okay. That makes sense.
And to further fill her on what we're talking about when she talks about the database is we have a third party service that manages the moorings.
Oh, okay.
Okay, keeps the lists online, keeps the active people online, collects the money, you know, that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, what's it called? The
Online mooring.
online one, which is very popular, like Stonington uses it. And-
I was gonna say, it's really gaining some traction, and in general, but more than in general until now, we've heard,
Yeah.
you know, we've been very happy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great to have. I'm not saying it's not, but for some reason, it's been particularly challenging this year. I think part of because we added a new feature, and partially because I think they're trying to do something on the back end with where you're supposed to be able to, you know, if for some reason somebody doesn't give you their registration, connect with the DMV system and you could just upload it, and that's never actually worked. And I think they're trying to make it actually work. So who knows, that could be the root of it all. You know how it is working with the DMV. But the sabbatical feature, I do think, threw a little monkey wrench in the works, so I don't know.
I did attend a training and it was quite good.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
missed it this year.
Yeah, we've been, you don't need training, but one of the things that I learned is we could really be using this a lot more on the water. You know, with the, you know, it would allow Scott to do a lot more with the GPS locations and such. So there's some other apps, but just in general for us, it's a good app.
If you pick something up like that, when he's here,
Yep.
why don't we just have an
Yeah.
open discussion about it, just to make sure
Yeah.
that he's aware.
Sorry.
some of the stuff didn't quite work the way it was supposed to,
Right.
because we were supposed to be able to, let people log on and say them away instead of putting the tag out and everything, and we could never get it closer.
I mean, I think it would be worth revisiting with them perhaps, but,
Not right now.
yeah,
Okay, let's get it.
get through renewals first and figure that out.
I have something to bring up about the sabbatical. Just to talk about it a little more here. I had a mooring holder come up to me and said, we're gonna be traveling next year. So I'm just taking the sabbatical. Well, that's not really what it was designed to do, what we talked about. This was, you can leave and then come back after it's dredged because you don't like the depths. And he didn't argue that that's what it was for, but that's what he's thinking it's for. So he's thinking I can take a year off sabbatical, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, and come back when I want before the dredging. I think we got to clarify that.
Yeah.
I think we got to clarify.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you probably read the letter that we sent, it's clear to us, but it didn't come clear to everyone. Now, the obvious answer is you can use a Rule 11. There's no harm in using Rule 11 for 2 years if you have some sort of an issue, even traveling, and you're not putting your boat in. So that's what I advise the person to do. But there is a gap there. I think we've got to, maybe Jennifer, I'll send something out, just a quick email saying, look, this is what it was designed for. And once you take it, if we're all agreed to that, right?
Unless he was to buy a smaller boat with a shallower draft and then
There
come
might
back in sooner,
There
then
might
that would be
special
okay.
situations,
Right.
But
But if you're taking a sabbatical because you're touching bottom, right, you shouldn't be coming back until the cove is dredged.
you wouldn't think so.
Right.
That's not the spirit of why it was offered. Okay.
Right.
And I just think we have to clarify that. So Jennifer and I will take the action item to send something out to the mooring holders. Are you done? I'm
Yeah,
not trying to rush you.
no, the only other thing is the budget is looking normal, so.
Okay. Next one's your item. Discussion of approval of river moorings.
So we approved them a while ago, right? Putting moorings in the river, town moorings.
Yeah.
So I think we've already approved it, and it's just a matter of Scott to find the anchors and the tackle.
Yes,
And I think it's something we should proceed with.
Especially now.
I'd say leave it on the agenda. Scott's here. We can get
Okay.
blow by blow. He was trying to. The old harbor master in line passed away. And he was trying to acquire some of his moorings that he privately owned
Mhm.
from his estate. And that didn't appear to be successful. So we had authorized him to buy X amount of moorings for him. Why? So we can revisit that.
Yeah, so maybe we have to up, if it's gonna be a new tackle, we're gonna have to up the cost.
Right.
But I think given the depths, we should probably,
Yep.
keep it, yeah.
Why don't we just keep it on here on the
Okay.
agenda, but talk to Scott about it and we'll put a little bit more emphasis on it this year to make sure we have it this year.
Mhm.
Okay,
Agreed.
right. Clothesline, anything on the clothesline, Paul?
Nothing new.
Okay.
One boat left out here.
Ferry Road, I'll take it for Rob here, the dredging area discussion. David, you correct me if I'm wrong with anything or you have anything else to add.
Mhm. Go ahead.
He was very disappointed he couldn't come to the meeting today because he said, I actually did something. Okay. And I guess he has the RFP for the permitting drafted. And he was discussing it with me on the phone. And I said, well, just give it to everybody and show up, try to be there at the next meeting. Okay, it's just that simple. I can't articulate, what he was telling me because I just can't remember it all. But You know, he was, I think he has a package ready for our approval or talking to it before it goes out. Okay,
Great.
water line replacement? Is that you and David?
Well, it's Lou, yeah, with Lou. I guess what we need to, what I'm thinking of doing, and we could probably pursue it. I'm gonna see what I'm interested in knowing what the existing water line has been costing us over the years, because I'm debating whether it's worth putting in a new system or not.
Well, we could,
Yeah,
We did analysis of that a year or so ago, didn't we?
how much we're spending maintaining the existing?
Yeah.
Water bills that are resulting
Yeah.
from them, which have been in the,
I
several
can
hundred.
trace that back though.
I could smooth up what I did and get it in the form of an RFP if we want to start getting some
Mhm.
quotes. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
I
talked
think
about a chip grant potentially, right?
Right.
But I think we're going-
I
we go
think we
ahead
need,
with this,
I think we need to do both. I think it's probably worthwhile looking to see what it's gonna cost to upgrade that system and do an RFP. And then before we decide, we can take a look and see what the existing system has been costing us. And then we can move forward with that. And if there's grant money available, that would even be great, would even be better. The other issue we currently have with the water system is we got to get it drained, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Scott. I hate to hire these guys to do it at $240 an hour per person, so we got to consider what we want to do there.
You want to reach out to him and you want me to remind him?
Yeah, I can. I'll try reaching out to him this week and see if he's able to remove the valves and then just drain the system for the winter. And then we can move forward with that one.
Okay. I gotta tell you, David, the only thing I'm gonna say is irrespective of, say it costs us $4,000 a year to fix this thing, or 2,000, I'm just making up. Since I've been on the commission, it has been every single year. So I think the aggravation factor alone isn't worth it.
It's just like dangling
Okay.
outside, it's all exposed, and
Yeah.
just keep getting beaten up and.
Yeah.
So,
So
I-
let's look at it to make sure, but,
all right.
I think we should,
do it for real.
you go ahead with the RFP. All right,
All right.
get it to me and I'll
Make it
take a look, I'll look at better.
You make it look better.
Shouldn't have said that.
I'll do the drawings.
Well,
you know,
the
the text.
And I'll make it more confusing.
But fast.
No, my only thoughts on it were if we could save money on the water, that would give us funds to expand and do some dredging and maybe put in some more slips. So that was the only reason behind it. But I agree with you. It's every year. It's the same issues. We got breaks,
Okay,
Question, if we do something like this and spend the money, can we still apply for a grant, or is it once we spend the money, it's
It has to be for a product that's going.
going to be?
start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've already spent the money, good on you.
Means you passed it. Fair enough.
And there is a match to the grant, just so you know, but
Yeah.
okay, Harbor Master, Dock Master report, it's tough because he's not here. The only question I did ask him is the cove empty? And the answer is yes.
Oh, it is.
That's what he said.
They're out there today.
I forgot the word.
Yeah.
They were out there today. They were pulling moorings today.
Yeah.
Great,
Mhm.
great.
Oh, empty as far as boats, but yeah, they're pulling moorings today. They probably got a third of them out.
Great. Great. Yeah, I was referring to boats.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
I didn't even know, talked to Paul briefly this afternoon. The barge was in there pulling moorings.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in there waiting to pull moorings. At least over the weekend, maybe longer.
It's about a third today.
Great. Okay, correspondence. There's not much correspondence in here. The only, I added this, we have two things, one from the, New Haven Harbor Master. And one, I don't understand the one from Daniel. It seems the one from Daniel, is old.
Right.
You know what, I think a page might. So he was basically, I don't know where the rest of it is, saying that he's in the process of buying a new boat and he expects. So only if there's something that falls through. Oh, here it is. I just out of order. It's just about how he's purchasing a new boat and
Oh, I got it. It's on the 28th.
just got separated from the other
Great.
piece of it. And then there's information in there about the permitting for the guide piles from coastline. Which is- that's it.
And I may have discussed this with you. I mentioned it actually to Melissa, but there's also a letter to boating division, Mr. Peter Francis from the New Haven Harbor Master, talking about the sailboat I was referring to that's sunk in New Haven and has been effectively abandoned by the same person that left the boat with us. Okay. Just to round it out, there was rumor too of he had a third or a fourth one, depending on how you count, in Essex, and that's just not true. He never abandoned a boat in Essex, but it was mentioned to me at least on 2 occasions, and I probably spread it to 2 people. Rumor said, but that's wrong. Okay. But I included it in the package because he copied me on it. All right. Okay, 26-27 budget. Anyone wanted us to take a look at what she prepared? Or did you prepare this or she prepared it?
No, I prefer that. I mean,
You gave that to her.
I didn't give her anything yet, because I don't give it to her until you guys approve it, but, I mean, this is based on, what she gave me. And actually, so the yellow column would be, the recommendation give for the fiscal year 27. And to be honest, I did not change any of these from this fiscal year, because last year, a bunch of them got upped. So that's up to your discretion. If you feel like to be bumped up this year, I felt like they mostly were in line with what we could expect. But, when you want to look it over, I've done the actuals for the last 3 years, so you can sort of take a look at what's going on.
So right now, it's the same as last year, right? In the yellow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't make any
Yeah,
changes,
Okay.
and that's what you would submit.
So on a clothesline, do we want to upgrade the poles at all, in the inboard poles at all, or hold on that for now?
We're gonna hold on that because there's a ship grant that might be available.
What do you mean by the inboard poles?
Sure.
The ones on
Clothesline,
clothesline, yeah.
Grant.
Yeah. Because we did have a proposal about a year old from Connecticut River Dock and Dredge to replace all those if we wanted to.
So, so for the ship grant, so the clothesline is only open to Old Saybrook residents, it isn't actually held.
That was one we were gonna submit. That's the
So-
reason.
Yeah, so it didn't look like maybe it fit as much into the parameters of the grant.
I will get you an answer on that.
Okay,
That's right.
Because I
We were
agree.
gonna,
Yeah.
And that would actually apply to the guide poles on the launch ramp also, which is another project that we're doing that project, right? I mean, we're permitting it
We're
right
hurting it
now,
now, yep.
you know. Because that launch ramp technically is only for residents also.
Right, and it doesn't necessarily provide a lot of economic benefit, but whereas when we talked about projects on the ferry dock, which
Yes.
is, helps with the commercial fishing industry and is, might be a better fit. Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a better fit for sure.
But it's all residents of Old Saybrook,
Yes,
yes.
right? It's not
Yes.
a smaller office.
And like North Cove has the Harbor of Refuge, so Clothesline is a little more of a gray area, we felt, versus some of our other areas that have broader use.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept the proposed, harbor management budget for 2026 and 2027 as presented in this package. Total cost of $52,800 for expenses, $86,000 for fees, and $100,000 for infrastructure.
Okay, second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any further discussion?
Do we want to put in an inflation adjustment for these numbers? The only reason I ask is because if you recall, in 1 year when we were doing renewals, I know it's not in here directly, but we went 8 years without a renewal.
Without an increase.
And I think we ought to get into a annual, at least inflation rate increase, even though it'd be odd numbers. Because it reduces shock, when you have to bump them, like we look back at when we did it and the year we were doing it, we were looking for like an 18% increase, which wasn't gonna fly. Just to stay even. And I don't know if we wanna do that or not useful. I mean, they're obviously round numbers.
I don't think, well, I'll just say this, first of all, the renewals already went out, right?
Yeah, so renewals are a different issue. I'm talking about the yellow column.
Oh, the yellow column.
You're saying like a 3.5% or whatever we think the inflation rate.
Do we want, it's a question for us to discuss, but do we wanna, prices are going up every year. We throw out an estimate, do we wanna protect ourselves and say, well, we budgeted this? You don't have to spend it, obviously, but that's also got problems. Do you have any opinion about that, Jennifer?
So a lot of the things that we have, like, I know you bumped up the gangway removal last year.
Yeah.
And his price has come in the same for the last few years, and there's a little bit of wiggle room there if he were to make it, if you don't feel it's enough wiggle room, but talking about a $650 difference right now already built in.
Yeah.
The gangway install, we've got $3,000 budgeted for that. Scott hasn't gotten close to it any of the last 3 years. Grounds maintenance, I think you're in pretty good shape there. He's been coming in under by about $1,500 to $2,000 the last couple of years. The repairs are subjective,
Right. Well, it's certainly easier with big round numbers.
Yeah. Online mooring, I kind of calculate that based on how many applications I know we're gonna have a year. And the taxes kind of go hand in hand with that.
Okay.
And I think actually we're gonna, because of the shoaling, be reducing the number of moorings, so those probably won't go up this year. If anything, they'd go down.
Okay.
I don't know if the portable toilets will change their pricing a little or not.
Okay.
So the mooring tackle would come out of infrastructure, right? If we want to buy tackle for guest moorings? Or
I actually probably would think to take it out if we've got this other purchase services, $10,000 that you can see. That's kind of our contingency.
okay,
I would, infrastructure to me is something that it's other than tackle. It's other than moorings, physical moorings, I think.
more docks and
Docks.
it's like the.
More
guide-
depreciable assets, you know, versus.
The guide piles for the ramp would come in.
That would all be in
Infrastructure.
infrastructure. Permitting would go into
Hmm.
infrastructure. It's more like fixed plant. I'll say it like
Yeah,
that versus. Yeah. You know, Paul, the only thing I'm gonna say is that we've got this $10,000
Right.
other purpose
Covered.
thing. I think that covers us. Good. But I do think next year
On renewals.
on renewals, we should increase stuff a little bit.
Just in
It's been-
general,
it's been a
easier
year and a
on
half.
people To give them a little, 3%, 2% instead of swapping them with a pay.
Yep. It's very economical, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
$400 a year.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
You know, which is terrific.
For sure.
Are you satisfied before I move on?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's a vote on the table. I'll repeat it again, and I'm gonna say, notice I didn't address the payroll numbers because I think there might be some movement in these numbers just a little bit. Okay,
Those are kind of outside our.
they're really not. I'm actually surprised that they're here. Right, because I thought what she actually sent over.
She only sends this top, but this is part of my regular budget from what I.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
see, I didn't propose anything, I just.
I'm not sure we even approve that part.
You don't usually.
So I'm gonna say it again, probably in a little bit different order, okay?
Did somebody second that? I don't remember. Yeah, Paul. Okay.
We could just vote on it now if everybody's
Yep.
clear.
Yep.
And you've got it down clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what does everybody say? What's the vote?
I
All in favor, aye?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
You're good,
Yes.
he's good, you're good, I'm good, passes unanimous, okay?
You threw them using the secret entree.
I already said it once, that's the thing.
Let's say the secret.
He's just throwing tacks in the road wherever he can. Right, North Cove signage placement,
Just wait for it. That was my item I added, just because of the sign we had. For
I have 3 call Scots already.
Yep.
Okay, old business. Amtrak River Bridge updates, we're getting them.
Yep.
It's getting much more active.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone by it on the train a couple times. It's really impressive when you get. really
Yeah,
up close.
I've been through the bridge on the boat. Yes.
It's really impressive. Ordinance change, I'm gonna say that has to be addressed. I think we give the new chief another.
Yeah.
3 months or so,
Get the speed, yeah.
and,
March.
and then
Same as security camp.
you guys might have talked about him a little bit before. I'm not gonna make this too long, but I happened to meet him and, I'm not bragging or anything, but my grandson, 9 years old, got to speak at I don't even know what it was, to be perfectly honest, but Susan Bicevich was there and a couple of the other commissioners from town and, about farm to cafeteria food. And it's a program by the state. And I'll tell you what, I'm sorry, I'm digressing.
30 years from now, that's gonna be, he's, vice president.
This is why you're never gonna.
Because I'm sitting with my son and going, oh man, this could go one way or the other. And he just got up there and belted it out on the news and everything. It was really cool. Anyway, I met the chief there. That's circling it around. And he expressed an interest, in learning more what we do and everything else, because he said Hamden doesn't have any of this waterfront.
Where he
stuff.
came from, yeah.
Yeah, so he seemed like a really nice guy. Harbor management plan,
Yeah. It's been difficult to get attention. I did send an email, I didn't hear back. Greg, Stedman, what was his name?
Jeff said.
Jeff
Jeff.
Stedman.
Yeah.
Greg went to graduate school, but,
Okay.
yeah. And, he does a lot of them.
He does.
We asked him to work with us, and it's just seems like he's been distracted by some of the other things going on in the
Oh.
state. Yeah, but we are trying to get that done. And continues to try.
You know what? I'm gonna make a suggestion, not that I wanna really participate, but I know I'm going to. I'd like for the next meeting, you to have a little list of the sections. And if you think it's appropriate, the subsections that we're responsible for.
Sure.
And let's just divvy them out.
I've got that all set, but it can be printed and made tangible
And we could
and it's on Google
maybe-
Docs.
maybe
So
make
already-
assignments. I know none of
Yeah,
us
yeah,
are
yeah.
focusing.
I know, me neither, totally. Yep, I think that's a
If
good.
I have like a section in front of me and you say, do this one, it has a fighting chance of getting done. Maybe.
Wind got out of my sails when I started tackling the history and I sent it over to some of the local historians. And the one guy went up pretty well, not unnamed, he'll say, you know, Paul, history began before Lord Say and.
That deeply.
That's a 30-year-old draft, forgive me. Whoops. I took the wind out of my sails. Yeah.
I had something similar to you one time. I'm sorry, I'm digressing a lot. I said something about asking about schedule analysis. And the guy looked at me and said, well, back in 1960, and he was moving like 6-month increments and everyone else in the room left. So. Right, guide pile updates?
Yeah, so they're moving forward the permit application, right, the DEP, so that's where it's at. Waiting for approval from the deep.
Great. Sheffield Street dock extension, I'm gonna table that until Scott's here. We should keep it on here.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a long range. North Cove launch ramp caution signage.
Yep, so I talked to the town building official and he's gave us a thumbs up to put the sign up, so. Is it-
The owners gave us permission.
Yeah, so the owner of the property that has the concrete wall said we could glue it to the wall. So I just need to buy one and is it easier for me to buy it and get reimbursed from you, or should I just tell you what to buy? What's easier as far as, it's like $20 for a sign.
Yeah, I can do it either way, whatever you
Okay.
want.
I can show you what to buy, yeah, on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Oops. Going.
Okay.
It's nice to know the property owners gave us permission for
Yeah,
that.
check with the North Cove people too, just said check with the town, so.
Yeah, the building official came to my office today and said, do you know about this? And I said, yes. He's like, all right.
Jennifer is not surprised by her concern. You're. No surprises.
But good he checks.
Exactly.
Okay. So Paul,
Yeah.
you added the security camera discussion. So what progress have you made?
Yeah, I didn't, it was there, it just got bumped. It
Oh,
had
really?
been there, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought we
it-
took it off.
No, I don't think we.
We did
request-
take it off
Oh, we
and then
did?
he has to put it back.
Did
on.
I?
Yes.
Okay, so I need to take the, never mind, I won't make it political, I need to take a cognitive test. For this.
That's another thing that, you know, that's when the new chief gets his feet on the ground, because I think
Yeah, it's all,
potentially he's going to be involved in that.
oh yeah, I would think so, because we don't want to. We'd rather have them, if there's a problem, that they can review them,
Correct,
we don't need to see them.
correct. And there's privacy issues on it
Right,
too.
right,
What they are, I don't know.
right, but they've got it all covered, so.
Okay, payment of bills. We're zooming right ahead, long here.
Payment of bills to online mooring for $21 for application fees, just one, I guess, or three. And to Northworks for the maintenance, property maintenance, $1,880 for October. I think that's it.
That was a motion, I assume.
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to approve the following bills for payment.
I'll second it.
Second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
passes unanimously.
Okay.
So is this everything you expected?
Pretty close. Not a lot of controversy here.
No, you guys are very enjoyable. New meetings
Thank you for
anytime.
coming, that was great.
Absolutely.
Well,
You got such a long commute to get here, so we expect you here often.
And I brought pens for all of you if you want. Port Authority.
Oh, Port Authority, all right. Swag.
To make a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make it work.
Once you get into your executive session.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for taking
Thank
your
you.
time.
If, correct me if I'm wrong, but the answers I'm going to get for you. I'm going to, see if having since the guide poles are for residents only, see if that is ship qualifying. Going to ask Mike about the, dredge letters to the Army Corps, see if he has any advice on that. And, see about the clean material for capping, or what, if capping is still a thing, or even if not, where else clean material might be suitable. So.
Advice on joining us for this, so I didn't mean to be abrupt, so thank you.
No. Thank you all.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to have Dave call you back on your cell phone, because if I cut him off.
Oh, yeah.
David, why don't you call me on my cell? And you can hear everything through that. You okay with that?
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do that now.
Yep, great. No, you're a real pisser if I don't answer. My wife does that all the time.
Yeah, call me back.
David, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I've got the volume all the way up too. Here's something I wanted to. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I don't lose you, David. I have to look at, I have to pull up a photograph, believe it or not. Please. Just. Oh, yeah, here we go. These are my detailed notes. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we enter into executive session to discuss potential recovery related to the abandoned boat. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.